So randomly I am creating breaks in between with my darker green. This break is very important. And then try to cover the areas around. Okay. 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 So in India we have Pastel. I'll show you. But yes, she's right that you'll not get the same hard quality pastels. These are super hard. But there are brands. There are brands which give you hard pastels also. I'll send you some links which give hard pastels, and those are basically for those kind of paintings, the realistic one. Okay, or where you want to make those clean marks. So if I pick any pastel from my Faber-Castell set, and if I want to add a very clean mark, so for that I can use, like, see this type, tiny lines I can do with that, because it's not possible. These pastels are quite soft. With soft pastels we can create the impressions kind of work, and if we have some more expectations, so for that we need we use a blend of colors. Sometimes we are in single piece, we use softer pastels, hard pastel, medium pastels. So I keep my Faber-Castell, my camel and Mugyo all combine. I'll combine all the colors and then I'm going to prepare accordingly. So the bigger size, A1 size, which we are preparing, the lady with the lamp, we have used multiple color range, all 2 to 3, 4 brands, I think. 3 brands, yes. So I'm trying to put more and more darker colors in a center part. Otherwise, if we keep layering with single color here and there from this corner to this corner, what will happen? Your painting will look flat, and you need that variations in your work. So somewhere keep more pigment, more darker green, somewhere you can keep it less darker green. And then again I can switch my color. So right now I was using darker sap green or sap green. I don't know why I say darker sap green. It's just a sap green. Okay. And now here what I can do, I can go more darker. So for more darker I can directly use black, because darker than this one I don't think so I have any other green, so I can directly layer with black now. Yes, Priya. Hmm. 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 Yeah, so it's a good question. First, you always should do the main subject part, right? Because accordingly, then you can plan your background. If I'll do the background first, I will not get idea that how much glow or light or shade will be there in my subject, my flowers. right? So in that case, always make sure that you are working with florals first, and accordingly you can adjust your background. If your flowers are too dark, so you can keep the background light. If your flowers are light, you can keep the background dark, right? And it's not possible once you do the background and you do the foreground, then the flowers part, you will not get these crisp kind of flowers. It will be very difficult for you then. Hmm. Hmm. Yes, but we don't have to cover those white space. There are multiple ways to cover those white areas, right? And we are not struggling with this. We are creating variations. I'm not trying to fix those whiter shade. And I'll tell you, if you really want to fix those areas, I'll show you what you can do. If I come. Now it's time to bring more and more focus to those flowers. So I'm going close to flowers with my black, and randomly, don't cover completely, but randomly you try to add blacks around your flowers. And I don't want to keep it super dark. I have to make it another range of green. Okay, so if I have applied sap green, I want to make a darker sap green now. If you press too hard, it will give you a complete dark black. But if you put a medium pressure, it will mix and it will give you a darker shade of green. And now what we are going to do, we are going to work on the negative space. What is negative space? So if we are working around the flowers, so that means we are working on negative space. And even you can fix the shape from outside. Like if this flower there is some issue or you want to shape it, so just go from outside and you can fix that area. You can change the shape this way. You just shape from outside. So both the ways we can work, in positive space and in negative space. But don't try to completely cover with the black circle, only few marks. And we have to add highlights to few flowers, not everyone. Only my focus is the main flowers here. Rest I'm going to keep it like this only. And now I can pick a lighter color. So here this is my yellow green. If you don't have yellow green, so what you can do, on top of this green You can pick your any light color. So if you have white, you can pick your white, right? And if you have olive green, then also you can use that. This way I'm just going to add the strokes in upward direction. If any area is looking too much black, so just break that area. How you can break it? By adding a one light tone there. Right? So I don't want to overdo this with lighter greens. I will again pick my sap green and keep doing same thing. And this way slowly you will able to cover that surface, white surface area. Adding a few dots of sap green this side, the top section. And if you want clean ones, so clean thin line edges, how can I get? Just with the edges part. Again, I'm going to add few blacks. And this way randomly add. Don't try to put all the strokes this way in upward direction. Just randomly put few marks this way. So it will create a volume. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm randomly creating these type of marks and it will add a breaks. Okay, and for blue one I can add one more shade, that is dark violet, or you can also add black if you don't have dark violet. So I'm just adding only one side these type of dash or marks. And then with my yellow I can again add few marks in darker areas, because yellow will only be visible on dark areas. So just put that pressure. This time you need to put little bit high pressure, so most of the pastel will stick there. If your pastels are soft, it will going to stick there. I'll show you here this way. Or I'll use the another kind of yellow. So you put pressure and just twist, you will get the mark. Okay, so what I'm doing, put the pressure and then twist and you will get the mark there. This way. Same way you can try with different greens. Randomly, it will add a kind of more detail and highlight in your work. If any area, like I'm not liking this area here, this mark, I want to get rid of this mark. Okay, this area. So what can I do with my lighter pastel, green pastel? I'll just go here and I'm going to add a little bit pressure and I'm going to put that green. Now it's fine. Okay, this way. If you're not liking any area, you can increase the darkness, you can reduce the darkness. Again, so this is the back and forth process. You have to again use your black. And now we can also work on this part. So here you can see I have applied a masking tape this side and middle section. So what I'm going to do with my palette knife, I'm going to remove that masking tape. So here is the masking tape and we have done a lot of layers, so it is not visible. Okay. Now I can add a yellow, because it will not be this much bright. Obviously there will be some blur kind of tones around this area. It is not possible that you see this much crisp white. Okay, so we have to blend the edges. For blending edges, what I can do, I can just peel off this paper from back side, and I need the edge part, this one. And make sure your pastel is clean, so you can use a fresh tissue paper. And then I'm going to add just on top of this line. I can go and add this time yellow. Okay, so that hard edge will go away. Now I can again use the same technique to create florals. This part I want to create this one. This is the main one, right? So as this is facing towards the sun, so the back portion will be complete dark. So I'm using directly red here. Now you have to be careful because we are working only on the very tiny area, right? I randomly did few marks, and then I'm going to use a darker red color. This is maroon. I'm pressing a little bit hard so that I can get pure pigment on my paper. And then I can add few orange just to lit some of the areas. I can add orange. And few strokes of yellow just on top of orange. And now this is tiny area, I can completely understand. You just keep practicing in these how you can work on small area, you will get it. And then a little bit white if I want, if you don't want, so you can stick to your red and your red, orange and yellow kind of tone. White you can skip. Okay, and then I can add black because this is my main subject, so I can add a clean stem. I can also add light green so that it looks like a little bit two kind of impression, light and shade both. And if you want to reduce any area, you want to make it more thin or something like that, so what you can do, just with your this palette knife, you can scrape that area and you can make thin as much as you want. You can see I'm nicely scraping that area and I can get that thin line. And you can put more focus in that area as much as you want. See? If you put medium pressure, you can get rid of few layers. If you put high pressure, so you will see the just paper tone below that. Okay, and again I want this floral to be surrounded by bright lights. So I can just scrape few area around. And you know, when we started, so first layer was white. Now this white layer will going to help me here, because when I'm scraping, this layer is visible. So whenever we want highlights in any area, you put first of all you can secure that area with white and then layer other colors on top. Now you can, with your clean finger, first of all check your fingers up clean, and then with your finger you can simply blend with a very light pressure, because we want to get rid of sharp edges. While scraping we have created few sharp edges, so I just want to get rid of that. And this is how we can create a bright glowing landscape. Now Priya asked me this question, that how to get rid of those white paper lines. So for this, what you can do, you can use your blending stem, or if you have your earbud, you can use that. Both the ways you can go. Okay, so just go in that area and you try to blend it. Only work on that area. Otherwise you can keep the paper white also, because sometimes it looks like it gives a good impression. But if you don't want, you can simply cover this with the blending stem, or just go with the earbud. Only work on those areas where you see that white paper. Don't try to blend it completely. Right? So we have done this very fast. Otherwise, I can say this is just a 50%. We can do still a lot of things. And this is a result. I'll quickly show, because my battery is about to die. I'll switch to my different camera. See, this is how we do.